tell you what, the mind is a very funny thing. I was on a website which is devoted to British comics of the 60s and 70s, and an image popped up of this book, all right, which I had completely and utterly forgotten about. But as soon as I saw this cover, I was taken back to the little 8 or 9 year old me at a jumble sale, seeing this, wanting this, and not being able to afford it, and being upset that I couldn't have it because I wanted to know all about this guy, this silver and red guy, right? And uh, and that is a memory which has completely been buried somewhere in my noggin all this time, and came flooding back as soon as I saw this. That memory came back, and it's like, man, oh man, oh man, yeah, I really wanted that. I've got to have it. So went straight onto eBay and I found it, and it wasn't much at all. This is about £5. Um, so if you're not aware, before 1972 here in the UK, in 72, um, Marvel Comics um, started up their own reprint line, starting off with the Mighty World of Marvel from 72 onwards. But before that, Marvel was making an appearance over here, outside of imports of the American comics, and they would be in British Boys comics. Back then, British Boys comics always were, one word titles, um, usually, you know, inferring thrill and excitement. So you got Fantastic, you had Wham with an exclamation mark, you had Smash, Thunder, Lion, um, and the likes of Fantastic Comic and Smash, in amongst the British strips, usually British comedy strips, you would have Marvel reprints. And I've got a few of them, and they are very curious because just like what Marvel would carry on doing in 72 onwards, is for a British weekly comic, you would cut the story up into, like, 3, 4, 5 pages, and it would just, to be continued next week. And what's curious about Wham and Smash and Fantastic was, um, on the rare occasions you got color, because they were usually black and white comics, but when you got color, the colorist obviously had never seen the source material, so you would get some really peculiar color schemes in these strips, and they are curious, and maybe one day I'll have a flick through. But this one is going to be very interesting because I've never owned it, and the nearest I got to it was standing by a table longingly looking at it. So I've never seen inside this. I don't know what's in it. I know Iron Man's in it, and this is a good example of an artist not knowing the color scheme. All right. So Fantastic Annual 1969. I should also say to anyone who's outside the UK, the weekly comics every Christmas, you'll get a hardback annual. All right. Again, a compilation, but these are self-contained stories this time, because you can't wait for another year, um, to carry the story on. So we've got complete stories in here, um, and yeah, also the numbering thing is always really odd. The Fantastic Annual 1969 came out in 68. Usually about, I don't know, October, November, they'd start appearing in the newsagents. All right, so this would have come out in the autumn of 1968 when I was 6. So yeah, I'm thinking I was like 8 or 9, because for the time for that to have been bought by somebody and then you know end up in a jumble sale, it's got to be 1 or 2 or 3 years later that I would have been gazing at it. So here we go. Let's have a look at it. The usual Odhams um, publisher, and the back cover is always the same as the front cover. All right, very shiny because apologise for that. It's a very sunny day out there today, but these books were only shiny on the outside, so we should be all right. What am I expecting as I flick through this? I'm expecting maybe in this bottom right hand corner you would have the price of it, and mummy and daddy usually would cut that off if it was a Christmas present for their little nipper. They would cut the price off, so I'm expecting that to be gone. What seems to be a staple in an awful lot of annuals is just inside, and it's usually about here on the second page, maybe on the first page, is the person's name and address. I don't know why. I think it's the tradition of taking them into school on a show and tell day or something like that. So I'm expecting maybe somebody's name in it and the price cut off. And what I totally am expecting is outlandishly wrong color schemes. All right, so we know Iron Man's in there, and we know, at least for the cover, that the colors are wrong. So here we go then, 1969. Actually, I'm going to just hold it there. I've got no. Ah, yeah. Here we go. Big Kinder egg. Soon to be turned into something on my Patreon page. Stay. Right, let's go. What we got? Fantastic Annual 1969. Um, this light is bothering me. Hang on 1 second. Let me just, if I draw the curtain. Oh, that's much better, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Actually, just a little bit more. Right, and off we go. What have we got? Fantastic Annual 1969. Oh my goodness. Well, that's the Hulk. What? A brown Hulk? Hmm. Well, Thor is correct. Thor is absolutely correct, isn't he? And the the X-Men are correct, but I guess that's old Bobby. That's Iceman. So he shouldn't be like he's going down to the gym. Mini-Man, the Incredible Crusader. Ah, right. Okay. So it's not all Marvel. Mini-Man is not a Marvel character. That's got to be a UK character. Johnny Future. Don't know about that one, but look at Iron Man. All right. So 9 and 6. Oh, sorry. The price is still there, and no one's name. So this is pretty good condition one then. 9 and 6. Okay, I'm going to take this back now. Um, that is a full reprint, isn't it? I'm guessing that hasn't been recolored for the UK. Don't know this story at all. Has it been recolored? The colours look kind of crude, especially this. Has this been recolored? It looks recolored to me, and it looks like it's been recolored with felt tip. Can you see the blotchiness on it on Professor X's skin there, and the yellow on the background? This looks like felt tip and there on that big bug guy. Can you see the? Yeah, I think this has been reprinted, but it's pretty accurate. Well, I don't know about any of this, but the X-Men's costumes, although that's purple, I think this is a recoloring, not reprint. Sorry, don't know this story at all. The Locust. Okay, kind of getting why I don't know this story. I don't think you get this mentioned much in a retrospective of, oh dear, of the X-Men. Yeah, I mean, this is UK, isn't it? Mini-Man, the Incredible Crusader. I don't know him at all. I didn't buy Fantastic comic back then. I was more a Thunder and Smash kind of boy. But I will read this. Why is he called Mini-Man? At the beginning. Starring at the nearby Vaudeville Theatre is the world's greatest comic ventriloquist actor, Major and Minor, who then... Oh, here we go. Minor is left alone, for there is one secret that even Gildo does not know, that Minor has the power to transform himself into an astonishing figure gifted with superpowers. This perilous situation calls for Mini-Man. Crooks, thugs, and grafters throughout the city and state of New York trembled at the whisper of the name Mini-Man, Battler of Evil. Never heard of him. Again, if he is a British creation, he doesn't pop up in lookbacks. Oh yeah, it's a staple for British annuals. You've got to have a factual, sciencey bit. Humans keep out. Well, this is copyright at the bottom. Marvel Comics Group, 1962. This is more what I was expecting. This two-tone color effect is very typical of British annuals. Right, that's the end of the story. And then now turn the page for more Power Pack strips. All right, I will. Lost my Kinder Egg. Hang on 1 second. Come back. There we go. Iron Man, two-tone. Look at that. Blimey. Maybe this is why, on the cover, he's silver and red, in that the guy who painted the cover was given this to study for reference, and he's just copying the two-tone colouring effect, isn't he? I think. All right. Conquest of Space Part 2. All about Iron Man. Oh, Black Widow. Special bonus featurette. Ah! Oh, excellent. I vaguely remember this from Mighty World of Marvel. Classic. But not... I mean, he's one of the most colourful characters at this point, but not him. Oh, more stuff on him. Thor battles the Incredible Hulk in spectacular pink, white, and red. Yep, classic story, but that's a classic image. Look at that. Look at this. It really does look like felt tip. I'm guessing, they were given, black and white photocopies, and then somebody had the job of colouring them in, but they couldn't afford much. Steve Ditko now, Prophet of Doom. Didn't seem to be anything strange about him until he took off his hat. Oh, good Lord, this is shocking. So he's got bad sunburn. Mr. Flub's torch. Oh, there's a variety here. Yeah, look. Oh yeah, I forgot POW! Exclamation mark. Smash! Exclamation mark. Wham! Exclamation mark. Eagle Boys World. Look, exciting, exciting, exciting. Oof. Conquest of Space Part 3. Johnny Future. Yeah, that's definitely not Marvel. I am Disaster. Yet this strip gets colour. All right, we're nearly at the end. Johnny Future. Very European looking artwork, this. Very European. Yeah, and the last page is the back cover. Well, there we go. If I'd had enough pocket money to buy that in the jumble sale, I'm guessing, the 8-year-old me would have found it very interesting. But this would have been my first, because I didn't get, my big sisters didn't buy me the Marvel actual proper American import Marvel comics. I just had DC's. And from 72 onwards, everything was in black and white in Mighty World of Marvels, apart from the covers. So if I had got this book, and I know I would have read it and reread it, and I'm sure Thor versus the Hulk I would have found thrilling. I would have had a very skewed take on the colours of the characters, and I'm sure when I finally did get to see them in their proper colours, I would have been going, "Oh, that's all wrong." Um, so, well, that's very interesting. I'm going to go off now and have a proper read. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed that. I don't know if this is going to ring any bells for you, but it certainly did for me, and finally glad to have it after maybe 50 years of initially wanting it. I finally got it.